Hi everybody. So it is Thursday. Hello. And the cookie dough sat for 72 hours, and so now we're going to bake it. So there's the dough out of the fridge. I probably should have got it out a little bit ago because it's pretty hard now, but okay, I'll figure it out. So the recipe says to preheat oven to 350, so that's what I'm doing while I'm going to show you this step. Then they want you to scoop 1/4 cup size pieces of dough onto the cookie sheet that is lined with parchment paper. So here's my parchment paper. Parchment paper is not wax paper. Do not put wax paper in your oven. Kids do it at school a lot. I've heard of it happening at home. Wax paper is coated in a wax, and so when wax gets hot, it melts and it's smelly and yucky, and it won't be good for your food. So parchment paper is meant to go in the oven. It can go up to 500 degrees. It's okay if it hangs over a little bit. If it's just going on a rack, if it's going up near the broiler, I'd be a little bit more nervous about this, but that's just going to sit in a middle rack in my stove. So I'm going to do 1/4 cup chunks of dough. Oh gosh, this is very, very cold. These are going to make giant cookies. I'm not going to make them all today because, well, I don't need them all. What I typically would do if the dough was softer is use 1 spoon to scoop the dough up, and then the other one to like scrape it off of the spoon with, but I don't need that because it's pretty solid right now. So I'm just going to do 1 spoon and kind of get 1/4 cup chunks out of here, and we'll kind of make them look like cookie shapes. It does say just 6 on a pan because they are so big. I typically would do 9 to 12 on a pan, but this is a little different recipe, so we're going to be putting fewer on the pan. The other thing I want to tell you is once you put them in the oven, you don't want to put 2 pans on 1 rack. A lot of times I'll see kids put 2 cookie sheets on 1 shelf in the oven, and that's not good because the heat will build up underneath the cookie sheets. You're blocking it from moving through the oven, and then the top of the cookies don't look cooked. The bottoms will get overcooked, and you won't think the tops are cooking. And then you'll take them out, and you'll be like, why aren't these cooking? And then you look, and it's because all the heat was at the bottom. So that is another tip, 1 pan per shelf. So I have my 6, this one needs a little more, large globs of cookie dough here. I'm just going to get a little bit more for that one right here. And then it says to sprinkle it with your fleur de sel. You don't have to do this if you don't have it, but you sprinkle a little bit of salt on top of each one, and then it will bake down into the cookies. So I'm going to put these in the oven. They go in for like 16 to 18 minutes, I think it said. And what I'm going to do is watch them. I'll probably put them on for 15 because my oven's a little different. I'll put them on for 15 minutes, and then I'll take them out, and then they're are going to be puffy at that point. So I'll smack the tray on the stovetop, knocking the air bubbles out, and I'll put them back in for another minute or 2. Ooh, it's preheated. And that will give you like a nice chewy texture that you want on a cookie. So I will maybe show you that step when they come out of the oven. So these will go in, like I said, for probably maybe 14 minutes I'll do, and check them sooner, and then we'll see if we'll go from there. So when they get done, I'll take them out and I'll zoom in on them so you can see what they look like, and I can tell you about how to tell if a cookie's done. So here we go. Okay, so my timer just went off. I actually set it for 12 minutes instead of closer to 16. So I'm going to take the cookies out, and they're kind of puffy. You can see that. So I'm just going to take the pan and drop it 1 time, and I'm going to put it back in for a few more minutes. All right, so here are the cookies. They're done. And I'm hoping you can see how I tell when a cookie is done. Let me just see if I can get you closer. So what I look for in a done cookie is I want the edges to be golden brown, so you can kind of see that the edges there are golden brown. I also look at the top. You want to see cracks in the top, and you want those cracks to be fairly dry. This one over here, if you look, oh geez, this is bad camera work. This one over here, in the middle here, it's a little bit wet still, but I'm gonna just let it go. It's gonna still cook on the pan a little bit. I usually let them sit on the pan for a few minutes so that residual heat can keep cooking them. So I'll let them sit a few minutes here, then I'll move them onto a cooling rack, and hopefully that one will resolve itself by then. If it doesn't, I'll just have a nice doughy cookie. So that's how I tell if a cookie's done. Again, you want golden brown. You want cracks on the top that are dry and not wet looking. So that's how I make cookies. These look fantastic. They smell really, really good, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.